Welcome to The Release Show. I'm your host, Brittany Sconyers. On today's show, we have Christine Strange. She is a 7-year breast cancer survivor who recovered her confidence and made it her mission to encourage other women facing similar situations. Besides being a warrior, she's a mother of a 19-year-old son and has been married for 21 years. Although her past was depressing, Christine is grateful for it. She also plans to expand this lifestyle club to embrace other women with different challenges like depression, post-traumatic stress, divorce, and many more. Let's welcome Christine.
Thank you, Brittany. Thank you. It's nice to be with you, and thanks for the invitation. I appreciate being here.
You're welcome. Your story is very touching, and it's hard to not ask. What went through your head when you discovered that you had breast cancer?
That's a good question. A very good question. I think the first thing I discovered, so just a little background, I'd had a mammogram where they had discovered a gray questionable area. So then it was recommended to have a biopsy, which you wait a couple weeks to do. Then you wait a couple weeks to get the results. So you're carrying your phone around with you, waiting to get the results. And I was at the gym. It was summertime, and I was on the treadmill, phone close, and our son was with us. There was always a trainer that enjoyed watching him while I worked out. And all of a sudden the phone rang, and I could see breast care specialist. So I knew that was it. And thinking, this is going to be great news. It's going to be fine. But I went outside, and on the other end was my surgeon, which is unusual because usually if you get results back, it's a nurse. And he said, Christine, honey, because we've known each other for years, you have breast cancer. And I think what went through my head at that moment was time does stand still. I just stood there, motionless. And and I know every breast cancer fighter and survivor feels this way too. There's just a few seconds of you want to catch your breath. You want to go, is this real? Gosh, I'm going to cry. It's years later. So I immediately had to get myself together, and I went in and got Jake and said, we got to go home. That was the longest 20 minutes of my life because you can't cry. Your mom, you got to have it together. Yeah. And we got home. I said, go to your room and play. And I went downstairs, got on my knees, and I prayed hard. And that's what went through my head. And what also went through my head was, you've got this. You've got this. You're going to make it. It's going to be fine. My next thing that I did was I called my husband. And he was in an important meeting in New York. And he said, I'll be on the next plane. And so with that, I said, okay, I've got my person and I'm going to do this. I think that was the inner athlete in me. And I just said, I've got this, and I'm not going to think any other way. So that were my initial thoughts.
Well, it's always good to have a support system. So I think that's what helped people get through things, is by having someone by their side to support them through it all, no matter what you go through, because everybody goes through things, and yours happened to be cancer. And so happy that you got through this. They often say when you have cancer, you have to try and stay happy as much as possible because stress can affect the outcome. During the period when you found out that you had breast cancer, did you get depressed?
I suffer from depression anyway. So naturally, I had some bouts of depression, but I chose, and everybody can choose how they want to attack it. I chose to laugh laugh my way through it. And so I downloaded, and this is no lie, no joke, I downloaded every season of 2.5 Men and on my iPad. And every appointment I went to, every waiting room I was in, I watched an episode. And because the opposite of crying is laughing. So I was going to make myself laugh. And I did. I had that and I laughed, and my husband was with me every step of the way. But I chose not to go there. And I think that's really important. And I talk to breast cancer fighters and survivors. Your thoughts become things. And so don't let your mind go there. Just, you got it. You're going to make it. And try to find laughter. Try to find light in the whole thing.
And that's me. You know, when I go through things, I don't try to dread on what the situation is. I try to retract my mind to think about something more positive to help me through it. Like, I know I'm going through something, but I don't want to feel that way. Like, I don't want to feel like my situation. I want to feel better. And so I've learned, because I suffer from depression too, I've learned that you have to retract your mind whenever you're going into that negative space, and even being around negative people, sometimes that can hinder you as well. So you have to pull yourself out of that and try to think about the happy things in life and what makes you happy, whether it's like eating your favorite food or, you know, singing in the shower, whatever can bring joy to you. You have to use that to get through life, because life is going to knock you down. And you know, we have to stay strong and stay positive so that we can be healthy, because mental illness is real. And all these things that we go through are going to happen at unexpected times, that we have to be able to deal with them. So I think that is very important.
I agree.
Most women feel their days are numbered after developing breast cancer. What mindset and actions do you think loved ones should take to help them get through this scary time?
Same thing. Positive thoughts, positive affirmations, laughter. I cannot emphasize it enough. If people go onto my social media sites, you'll see I'm doing silly things. I'm not afraid to laugh at myself. I'm a goof. I admit it. I wanted my husband to feel that way too, because anything tragic, it doesn't have to be a breast cancer diagnosis.
Right.
We're all going through tragedy. It could be divorce. It could be empty nesting. Just life changes. I mean, we're going through a lot of changes right now. So things are heavy. And to make it lighter, change, again, thoughts become things. The hardest part is between here and here. Here and here. This is the longest distance. This is the biggest challenge between these two ears. And you've really every day got to consciously wake up and say, I'm going to think positive. You know, with breast cancer, I woke up every day saying, I'm taking this challenge on. God gave it to me for a reason. And if you don't believe in God, whatever spiritual reason in this journey of life, it was given to me. And 1 out of 8 women will be given this challenge in their lifetime. And we know the statistics. So 1 out of every woman in 8 will be diagnosed with breast cancer. You have to wake up every day saying, I've got this. I'm going to beat this. This is just a little blip in my life. And I'm going to look back on this and I will be a stronger person.
That is so true. How did you gain your confidence back after being diagnosed with cancer?
Oh, gosh. I took it on as a challenge. Now it was uncharted waters. I didn't know what to expect. And I didn't know what to expect. But I did know I was going to be my best doctor. In other words, I was going to listen to my gut. You can get a lot of opinions, recommendations, do this, do that. Every step of the way, I said to myself, and I want to urge breast cancer fighters and survivors, pause, take a pause, ask yourself, is this what I want to do? Does this make sense to me? Is this right for me? And I did that every step of the way.
Great. The Real Christine Style Life Change Club aims to help fighters, survivors, and other women remain their confidence during and after their challenges. How do you plan to accomplish this goal?
So moving forward, just a little background. So Tickle Pink, first of all, I came up with Tickle Pink because there's so much pink with breast cancer. It's not my
Mhm.
favorite color, so I wanted to be tickled by it. Tickle Pink started off as a shooting club. I picked up a shotgun because my husband and son hunt, and we have some land, and I shot clay targets, and every target was breast cancer, and I shot it and broke it up. And then the shooting club grew, and we did tournaments and raised money to help women that were uninsured get free
Mhm.
mammograms. That turned into Tickle Pink Club, which was a lifestyle club for breast cancer fighters and survivors. But then I was finding other women were reaching out to me that weren't survivors, but enjoyed what I had to say. So now it is the Real Christine Strange.
Mhm.
I do have Tickle Pink events, which I've turned Tickle Pink into. So I am going to start doing events to help raise money for breast cancer organizations as well as mental health organizations. My
Mhm.
other platform is I suffer from anxiety and depression,
Mhm.
and I'm not afraid to say that. There's
Mhm.
so much stigma around admitting that. And I've
Mhm.
posted a couple of videos of my personal challenges and have had a lot of positive feedback,
Right.
but I've had some negative. Some
Okay.
people have said you shouldn't talk about that. That's your private life. And I want to say I disagree. I
Okay.
disagree. If we don't talk about it, Brittany, if you keep it bottled up inside, that is so unhealthy. That is
Mhm.
worse for you. In the world, every 40 seconds, someone is taking their life from anxiety and depression
Mhm.
during this pandemic. Every 40 seconds, someone is dying from depression. So it's a real thing.
Mhm.
While breast cancer is this big thing, and everybody's wearing their pink, their tutus, walking around,
Mhm.
marching around, I want that to happen for mental health and depression.
Yes.
So that's my goal for 2021. I'm going to keep my breast cancer survivors, fighters, all of you near and dear to me because I have a lot of them following me. But I also have a lot of people that have said to me, "You're so brave."
Mhm.
And I don't feel like I'm being brave. I feel like I'm being real. And I want
Mhm.
women to get real. We're not perfect.
Nope.
I'm not perfect. I may
Mhm.
be a model. I just signed on with, I have to give a little plug for Madeline's Salt Talent Agency in
Okay.
Atlanta. I just signed
Yeah.
on. Yes, I'm over 50 and I'm starting to model. Crazy. Um, but I'm not afraid to say I suffer from depression. It's okay. It's a part of me. It's a part of my story. And guess what? I'm not a real housewife. I'm not perfect.
Right.
I'm not materialistic. I don't have all these lips and fillers. I'm just me. And
Mhm.
I think that's why people enjoy me and enjoy following me. And I hope to get more followers and do marches and events for mental health.
That is great. I look forward to seeing all of that come to fruition for you.
Thank you.
Every leader of an organization has a goal that they wish to accomplish at any time. Where do you see yourself in your lifestyle club in the future?
I see myself hopefully being a positive role model for women. Sorry, men. I mean, you've got your guys, you've got your club. I am a big supporter of women. I'm not a backstabbing woman. My girlfriends know I'm a supporter. I want to be a mentor and I want to be real. I want to be real. I want you to see me. Sometimes I'm going to be on a video crying. I've had a bad day. And there
Mhm.
are times when I have depression, I can't get out of bed.
Mhm.
And that's a real thing. And I know I'm not the only person feeling that way. So I want everybody to know you're not alone, even during this pandemic. We have so much technology, just like you said, Brittany, your world has opened up even more with your talk show.
Yes.
because you can do it virtually. The
Yes.
same thing with me. I have great social media team, Get Engaged Media, my girls, Hannah and Nicole. Um, we work together to make sure that we have content that appeals to women, that talks about mental health issues, that talks about real things, empty nesting. I don't believe that that's a good term. My nest is full now that my son has left. I'm full. Sorry, Jake. But my mama birthdays are done. I got my trophy. I'm good. Got my t-shirt. He's good. He's on his own. Hopefully he doesn't fly back. My nest is full. It couldn't be fuller. I'm doing more things now. Like I said, I started Tickle Pink events. I'm modeling. I mean, imagine that. I hope to get on TV is one of my hopes. I'm doing more, and so I don't want women to feel like they have to live through their children. You've done your job. Congratulations. It's good.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
good.
Yes. So you're an animal lover. Let's talk about these animals that you have, the beautiful horses and your 2 dogs.
Okay, so you and I have talked. Animals are good for your soul, okay? And they also don't care if there's a pandemic or politics or what's going on. So I have a hunting dog, a Brittany Spaniel. She is 13 years old, but she can run, and hunt. Her name is Coco for Coco Chanel. And then I have a little King Charles. She's 3 years old. Her name is Gucci. And then I studied fashion. You see a theme here? Yeah. I studied fashion. It's a surprise I didn't name Jake something like Ralph or Ralph Lauren. I have a horse named Louie who is just happy eating. That's all he feels like his life purpose is. And so I go to the stable and I ride Louie, and he's real slow. It's okay. I'm good. I'm not out to jump fences. And I feel at peace. I feel like I can get the sadness away, because people that suffer from depression, as you know, Brittany, we're more sensitive. So we're very sensitive to this pandemic going on, the number of people dying, the politics going on. So you need to get away. And animals, they don't care. They don't care what's going on. They just, they feel your energy. So I have to make sure I'm in a good space. And I just ride him and I feel like a new person. So
that is so true that animals feel your energy. I remember when I was I was about 22, and I was going through a serious year of like depression. It was like my grandmother died, my stepmother died. I was in a bad accident with the 18-wheeler, and it was like bad things just kept happening to me that year. And so I got really depressed, and I had a dog, and I named her Couture. And I wanted to get Juicy so I could have Juicy Couture. So I do the same thing like you, name animals off.
Absolutely. They're not animals, they're glaminals. You know that. There are glaminals.
Yes. So when I was going through that depression, oh my gosh, Couture made me feel so much better. She would get into bed and just like lick on my face and just love all over me. And it was just so therapeutic.
Yeah.
And it's so true that they do help you through bad times in your life. And I'm so thankful for Couture in that time during my life, but she passed away. But yeah, so that is so true. The animals are therapeutic.
They are, and I highly recommend, if you don't have an animal, go somewhere, go to, someone that you feel comfortable being around that has an animal, or just go to a stable and walk through the stalls. They're not closed to public. That you can just walk through and pet some horses. It's really important. It's really important that we come up with some coping tools right now to get us through this, because it's going to be a little bit longer. It is.
Yes, and I think that people are really going to need help even afterwards. Being stuck in the house, not able to live your life like you normally did before, is hindering you and hurting you because you want to do what you want to do. And unfortunately, you can't. And then also wearing masks everywhere you go and things like that. Everybody's having to change their lifestyle, which is affecting them mentally. And so people need to check in with themselves mentally even after the pandemic is over because the aftermath will definitely be there as well.
It will be. It will be because we're not going to go back to normal. It's
Mhm.
going to be a new normal.
Yes.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, it's important. And I tell everybody also, yes, animals are great, but if you need therapy, go to therapy.
Yeah.
Talk to a virtual therapist. You know, talk to your pastor. Get a best friend. Just
Mhm.
make sure you've got someone that's checking in with you. That's most
Yes.
important.
Get you some support system.
Absolutely.
You also joined the National Association for Mental Illness recently, and you plan to get actively involved with them this year. Can you give us an idea of the activities you hope to do with this organization?
I definitely hope to volunteer. And
Mhm.
I just joined, so I'm a brand new member. They have a whole lot of needs in various areas. I'm not sure. I'm open to whatever they need as far as volunteering. And then when we can, I hope Tickle Pink Events can help fundraise for them and put on some events. So that's my ultimate goal, is to be able to get more exposure for them. So I joined the local chapter, but they have chapters everywhere. And again, I just want to get rid of the stigma. Get rid of the stigma.
Yes.
There's so many celebrities now that are coming out and being so open. Lady Gaga, she
Mhm.
just recently admitted that she suffers from horrible depression, where it's months where she has to just be bedridden and take care of herself. And so the more people that can talk about it, and I hope I can do it, it's just one
Mhm.
person at a time.
Mhm.
Just like I said, Brittany, I posted a couple things and I had a lot of positive feedback, but I had a couple of people saying, why are you talking about that? That's
Mhm.
private information. That you shouldn't talk about that. Why shouldn't I talk about that? Why is it okay to
Right.
talk about breast cancer and I can't talk about anxiety and depression?
Right.
So I hope to make a change in that. I know I can't change the whole world,
Mhm.
but if it's just a few people that I can turn around, then I'll feel like I've done something.
Yes. And I love your Instagram, by the way.
Thank you. Thank
It's so
you.
pretty, colorful, happy. So I love it.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. So, what do you like to do in your pastime?
So in my pastime, I love to run with my dogs. We are fortunate. We back up to the Chattahoochee River, and there's a nice trail behind our house. It's just over 3 miles, so I run with the dogs. I believe in being close with nature. That trail I call my church. I I feel closer again to God, whatever spiritual being you feel like you're going to be closer to.
Mhm.
My Father in heaven. I work out. I'll give a plug again to Orange Theory. I drag my husband out of bed early every morning and we go.
Mhm.
I love to do that. I do, dabble in some interior design with a very good friend of mine that is a designer. I like that.
Mhm.
Of course, I told you we have two restaurants. So we go to Florida, we go to Pensacola, where we have a beach house, and we have a restaurant there, the
Mhm.
Grand Marlin. And then we have a restaurant in Panama City. So we are in the restaurant business too. Um, I like spending time with my son.
Mhm.
The pandemic, ironically, he was supposed to go away. And um, if there could be good out of bad, I always say lemonade out of lemons.
Mhm.
Ended up staying here in an area called Buckhead, Georgia, and he's doing online school. So,
Nice.
just a couple days I had lunch with him, and I enjoy his company. He and I have a good time together. We laugh a lot.
Mhm.
So, I enjoy that. We have wonderful in-laws, my husband's parents. Of course, we're masked and social distance, but we spend time with them. And I like to read, so
Okay.
that's pretty much it. That's what fills my days.
That's great. So tell us something about yourself that we haven't talked about in the interview.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I've been married 21 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty statistically good.
Yes, that's amazing.
I think that beats some odds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm half German. I
Okay.
very half German. My mother's German. I'm a twin. Um,
Okay.
my twin lives in Virginia. I also have an older sister with special needs. She's mentally handicapped. She's a beautiful, beautiful person. And, if you think you're struggling during this pandemic, she had to be plucked out of her special school, which is where she knows everything. She has memory issues, and she's been staying with my mother in Virginia since March. And that's difficult. That's difficult. She enjoys being around people that are like her. And now she's completely out of her element. So if we think we're struggling, imagine what she's going through.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's it. I don't know what other quirks I have. I'm embarrassed to say. I mean, I'm a goof. I can say that. If any of my good girlfriends are watching, they know I'm a goof. I mean, I believe if you're gonna do it, it's got to be fun.
Yes.
So, I told you for our Christmas card this year, we had a camel in our backyard, and I rode the camel, and went up to that petting farm, and I met this giraffe that I fell in love with, George. And I think that's it. I just love life. I do.
Yeah.
Do I have down days? Yes. Does breast cancer change you? Yes, it should. Does it ruin my life? No, I don't think about it. People ask me, do you think about it every day coming back? No, I do not. I don't go there. I do at least 2 times a week, wake up extra early before my husband does and the dogs. And I come up to my office up here and I can see the sunrise over the national forest and I just watch it rise. And I say, thank God I can see that.
Yes, that's beautiful. God's creation.
That's right. That's right.
Please let everyone know how they can follow you on social media.
So you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. Just go to @TheRealChristineStrange and please follow me. Please DM me. I always respond. And let's just have a good time together and let's have a journey. And if you have a bad day, don't be afraid to message me. Don't be afraid. I've had people message me that just got diagnosed with breast cancer. I send you little packages and you can get through it. I promise you, we're not alone. We're not alone. We weren't put on this planet alone.
That's right. We're not alone. Thank you so much for being on the show, Christine. I love your energy and positivity, and I look forward to seeing all that you have planned for yourself in the near future.
Thank you, Brittany. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Please click the subscribe button below and leave a comment on today's show. Thanks for tuning into The Release Show. See you next time.
Bye, everybody.